I talked to Randy Orton one time, and I told him, hey, I get a Christmas card from your dad every year, and he goes, oh, that's my mom. She sends those out because I've been friends with Bob Orton for years and years and years, and that was the only thing I had to say to Randy Orton because I don't really know the kid, and so it's just I respect a lot of these guys. I just don't really know them that well, but I do try to stay up on a lot of the product as much as I can, just to kind of understand what's happening. Because a lot of my friends here in Phoenix that are just casual, borderline wrestling fans, sometimes they'll watch it and they'll ask me questions like, why did that happen? Or how did this happen? Or who's this guy? Or something. I like to have some kind of an input, not feel like I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm. So what are you currently working on right there in Arizona?
What am I working on?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually writing a book. It's been a very long process. I'm working on actually 3 books. One of them is my autobiography. It's called I Carry the Scars, and that's been an ongoing ordeal, coming up with the mental and physical energy to write that. Putting everything down in print about my life, it's very hard because I've done so much of a variety of things, from the Hollywood stuff to refereeing to ring announcing to wrestling. Training people and things like that. So it's been real difficult. It's not like you have a straight wrestling career where you can talk about, I went there and did this, wrestled this guy. Well, in between, in 1 week's time, I might have worked on a movie. I might have refereed. I might have done ring announcing in Hawaii. I might have gone to New York to a John Arezzi convention. I might have done so many darn things. It's unbelievable, and it's hard to put all that in print to make it make sense and common sense to a reader reading it. So I'm working on that, my autobiography. I've also got 2 other book projects. One's titled Big Bill Anderson Remembers the School of Wrestling, and that's my main project I'm working on right now. It's going to have over 300 photos in it, with Sting and the Warrior, of course, Angel of Death, Louis Spicolli, Steve DeSalvo, Frankie Kazarian. There's a lot of guys that are going to be in the book, guys that passed through my school, guys that came and were a part of it. Hundreds of guys, women, Magnificent Mimi from the 80s. I helped train her. Me and many people trained her. Mondo Guerrero, Gene LaBelle, Billy Robinson. A lot of people had a hand in training her. But she also asked for special one-on-one training with me, and during that time period, too, before she went to work for Vern Gagne. And so there's a lot of people featured in the book, all the way up through 2001. From about 84 to 2001, I was running a school, and it's all the people in there. Melissa Anderson, who's working for TNA under whatever that gimmick she does. I trained her. I trained her dad, Doug Anderson, and we were tag team partners for a while, working as the Anderson brothers. Him being the only legitimate Anderson, and so it goes on and on. And they're all featured in the book. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done on that. And then my other book is Big Bill Anderson Remembers Fallen Friends of Wrestling, and that is more of a tribute book to the hundreds of people I've known through 1973 on to the current that have passed away in wrestling, mostly wrestlers for the most part. It goes down to people like Joey Morella, Monsoon's son. So many people that were friends of mine that have passed away, that I've known. All the guys that I started with were my first promotion I worked for here in Phoenix. There'll be a lot of guys that a lot of people haven't heard of. It's more for myself to get printed as much as it is for maybe some of their family members to see their husbands or their brothers or sisters in print.
Right.
But it's a lot of my friends that I want to pay tribute to. Obviously, a big section will be paid tribute to 2 of my friends in particular, Louis Spicolli, one of my greatest friends ever, the most loyal person I've ever known, and another wrestler that I helped train, Stefan De Leon in Los Angeles, who died in a motorcycle accident in 2004. And I did a eulogy at his funeral, and that was another very, very, very sad day. He was, oh my gosh, I think he was 36.
Oh, wow.
I want to say 36 years old, and was hit by a taxi cab while he was driving a motorcycle to work. And very sad. So I'm paying tribute to a lot of my friends, and of course all the guys like, Big Boss Man and Hercules and Kurt Hennig will be in it, and Tom Ernesto, one of the original Assassins, a good friend of mine. And it's all pictures of me with these people. It's for the most part a picture book, as is my wrestling school tribute book. They're mostly pictures. There will be some text in it, but mostly pictures.
We'll be right back with more of Bill Anderson. Check us out on the net at OWWFan.com.
OWW Genesis.
OWW Radio on OWWFan.com. It's Nick Anthony and Kenai Andrews, and joining us is Bill Anderson. Hey, Bill. William Moody, or Percy Pringle,
Yes.
we've been trying to get a hold of him to come on as Undertaker's taking on Big Show at Survivor Series in a casket match. You keep in touch with him, or you know him?
Yes, I do. Actually, he did the foreword for my book, for my Big Bill Anderson Remembers the School of Wrestling. And I had Percy do my foreword. I wanted somebody, and I've got friends here in town. I could have gone to the Honky Tonk Man or Billy Graham. I'm saving them for my other books, maybe. But I could have gone to a lot of different people. Lanny Poffo out in Florida is a very good friend of mine. Tons of old-time wrestlers, Roddy Piper, a lot of guys. But I for some reason, I had my heart set on Bill Moody doing my forward, and he did just absolutely the most wonderful job. I was almost in tears when I read it, because it was just so nice to know that friendships remain. I've known him again since 1990, or actually 91, because I have a picture of me and not me, but Undertaker, him, and my ex-wife, and holding my son. My son was 2 years old with Paul Bearer and the Undertaker, and I'm using that in the book too. Then I have a picture that with the forward of the book there's going to be two pictures. That picture, and then another picture I have taken in 2005 of me and Paul Bearer in Vegas at the I believe it was the Riviera Hotel for the Cauliflower Rally Club. And Killer Kowalski's got his arm around me. He's the third person in this picture, and he's putting a claw hold on my stomach. And we just lost him, and he was again one of the greatest trainers of all time too. Right. So what a tribute for Kowalski, to have Kowalski in my book too, and use that picture. I thought how appropriate. Pay tribute to that man. He was a good friend and a good person. So, but Paul Bearer did a wonderful job on my on the foreword for my book, and I'm absolutely honored that he did that, and so willingly, and very, very good. And so I can possibly hook you up with him.
Oh, great! Thanks for coming on with us. What's the name of those books again?
It's well, I'll keep in touch with Kenai about this, but it's Big Bill Anderson Remembers the School of Wrestling. That's my first book I'm going to get done. The next one will be Big Bill Anderson Remembers Fallen Friends of Wrestling. That's my tribute to a lot of the fallen stars of the business. And then my other one is my autobiography, and it's called I Carry the Scars. And it's simply just the inner and outer scars of a journeyman wrestler that spent 30 years of their life in the business, and all the traveling all around the world, and what it does to your heart, soul, and your outward appearance, too, with the beatings you take. So it's going to be an interesting read. I'm sure a lot of people will find it